Nigel Farage, he joined forces with the Swedish Democrats in the European Parliament. This is a far-right Nazi group. They want to deport people, not based on the colour of his skin, but from the places that they've come from. They also, Nigel Farage, talked about it being the end of democracy because of the way certain ethnic minorities are voting. These aren't robust words, as Annabelle called them earlier, or we've heard on the conversation. This is racism, it's fascism, and we should call it out.
Zia.
OK, so what we want to do is deport people on the basis of whether they are legally entitled to be in this country. That has nothing to do with race, ethnicity, nor religion. Now, let's talk. You accused me earlier, let alone fascist. You said that I was peddling disinformation. And I think people watching this programme at home, given the Green Party are right now, to be fair, they're surging in the polls, it's important that people know this. When Zack Polanski is making seductive claims to you, it's important that you understand, before he came into politics, he literally made money by charging women on the promise that he could literally enlarge the size of their breasts by hypnotising them. That is a true statement. And by the way, if you think that's insane, his policies are even more insane. He wants a world without borders. He wants open borders. He wants us to stand down and destroy our nuclear deterrent as Vladimir Putin belligerently marauds into Ukraine. He wants a communist economic system. He wants to legalise all drugs. And in Zack Polanski's version of Britain, his version of Britain, it is legal to sell fentanyl, crack cocaine and heroin, but illegal to rent your flat out. This is the most unserious person to enter British politics in my lifetime.
OK, listen, I'm going to let you respond. There's a whole heap of things there. Do you want to start off with the hypnotherapy? Well, because not everyone may be aware of it, but as I understand it, you spoke to a journalist in The Sun who came to you and said, can you make my breast bigger through hypnotherapy? And you said, yes, and gave it a go.
I said no. And they said, would you be willing to do it as an experiment? I said, as long as you make it clear, it's not something I do, it's not something I charge for, it's absolutely
Zack, that's not true. I'm sorry, Zack, I'm sorry, I've got a correct record on that. That is not true.
And then actually, amazingly,
hang on a minute. When you talk over each other, no one at home can hear. As I remember, you were quoted as saying, actually, loads of people might go for this because it's safer and cheaper than a boob job.
Right, so this was 12 years ago, before I was a politician.
Just giving you the chance to respond.
I think it's important to own when you've made a mistake, and I've owned that. It's 12 years on now. I think Tony Benn, one of my favourite politicians, said, I don't care where you've come from, I care where you're going. And what I want to ask Zia, if we're talking about people's past records, Nathan Gill, this is a man who was found guilty on bribery with the Russian state. Now, Zia said that Nigel Farage and Reform did not know who this man was. But Nigel Farage, including the day after Brexit happened, was pictured with 4 men behind him, one of them being former MEP for Reform, Nathan Gill. The man that Zia says, no one knows who he was. So were you lying, or was Nigel Farage lying?
Zack, I'm afraid, if you want to use the word lie, let's be clear about something. You are lying. What I said is I have never met. I took over as chairman in the summer of last year. I will tell you, I have never met Nathan Gill in my life. I have never met...
Farage has met thousands of people. He doesn't know who this man is.
So
was that a lie?
I said he meets tens of thousands across the course of a year.
Okay.
Over the course of a year.
And Zack, is this believable? This sounds like
at the time that this guy was the Welsh leader, Reform was polling at like 1% in Wales. Listen, here's the fact. Here are the facts of the matter. Reform.
Hang on.
I have never met him before. He is not an important figure inside Reform.
Because you're filibustering and everyone can
Nigel was not leader when he had a position inside Reform.
So was he stood behind Nigel Farage in the picture, or was he not?
OK, I tell you what, hang on a minute.
This is about bribery from Russia.
Everybody there in the audience, can I just say, people in the audience, hang on, Izzy. I appreciate you both feel really strongly about Nathan Gill. But I can see that people in the audience are going, you know, I'm not sure this is going to make an enormous...
bribery from Russia.
Right, OK.